a very impossible thing in that time. And the Prophet Muhammad SAW said about the Arab Bedouin, they will compete to build the highest, tallest building. And what is the tallest building today? Burj Khalifa in Dubai, right? Can you imagine? There's even 100 years ago, that Dubai, these people was they didn't have that much, and they didn't have anything like this today. They do have. Imagine that 1500 years ago, 1500 years ago, Prophet predicted it.
The Burj Khalifa?
Yeah, not Burj Khalifa, the tallest building. They will compete each other. They will compete. The Bedouin Arab will compete each other to make the tallest building, and we found it in that place today. So there is a many miracle of the Quran which you can just testify, and Allah said, Allah make the challenge as well in that time. So you can say, okay, so if someone make the Quran, so what's the speciality of the Quran? Yeah, for this reason, Allah made a claim, and Allah gave the challenge to that time, to the Arab people. They are the best people in terms of literature, in terms of language. Now Allah said, if you don't believe these books come from the God, create something like it. Even create a surah, chapter like it.
Even
and
WhatsApp GPT.
Yeah.
You know WhatsApp GPT?
Yeah. And what happened then?
When Brother Mansour made a whole
video about the
Dawah, I encourage you to watch it. When he conversed with the artificial intelligence, can he produce a surah like the Quran? They admitted they can't.
Yeah, and in that time, the Arab,
artificial intelligence,
all the Arab.
Did they say it about the Bible too?
The Bible.
Yeah, it was imitated. Bible can be imitated if you write in ChatGPT, make some imitation of this verse, it can do any time. But for the Quran, they even ChatGPT said it cannot be imitated, because that's the miracle. That's a miracle from the God, and the linguistic strength of the Quran is in the next level. You can't imitate it.
It's well known.
You understand?
Like, for example, you don't have to be an English poet to appreciate Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Because you see the testimonies from those who are expert in English literature, right? You don't have to be a poet. So if you type, what's the best Arabic literature? And what's amazing is that Allah gives the prophecy within it that you will never be able to do it. Try and do it. Even if you try, you will never be able to do it. So not only does Allah put the challenge to produce, something like the Quran, it's even giving you a prophecy. This will never happen. No one will be able to do it. So there are many Arab poets that attempted to produce a chapter like the Quran, they failed, and it's an objective criteria. So it's not based upon how. That is one of them, but there is a way to objectively verify if you make the challenge or not. So you don't even have to appreciate the Arabic language to appreciate the magnitude of the Quran, because this is well attested. Just like, for example, we can appreciate William Shakespeare as one of the greatest English poets, even though I know nothing about English. I got C in my English language. I'm not that good yet, but at least based upon poetry, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, you got my point. In terms of the poetry, they are saying that English, like William Shakespeare, is one of the best poets. So
do you understand the point? Like,
no, it's great.
Yeah.
So it's well known in the Arab world that the Quran has not been met. The challenge has not been met for the Quran.
And
1400 years.
In that time, the Arab, in that time, Arab was the best people to for the in terms of the poetry, in terms of the literature, in terms of any Arabic linguistic term. They are the best people to imitate anything. And do you know when Allah said make something like it, they came together, all the poets, all the the highest literature people, they came together and said, yeah, we can make it. Then what happened? They made a verse which called this Quran is not from any human being. They made this verse. Understand?
Yeah.
So they even in that time, they were the enemy of the Prophet. They tried to beat the Prophet. They tried to beat the Islam. But in that time even, they didn't able to make anything like the Quran. And amazingly, Quran was, as I said, Quran was preserved in different, for example, oral preservation. If for example, any leader, or if there is a war and all Quran, you burn all Quran, we don't have any issues. We have Quran in our heart. Millions of Muslims who can read the Quran without even touching the Quran. They memorize the whole Quran. For example, I can memorize, and if I make any mistake, he can say it is your mistake. Just for an example, I'm just reciting from the first chapter, Surah Al-Fatiha. Then you will see if I make any mistake, he will say no, that's not the correct. He can make me make the correction. Yeah. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. Is it correct? You see? Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. So it was preserved to the heart of the Muslim. It is preserved. So even someone burned the Quran, we don't have any issues. We can say it without touching the Quran, without seeing the Quran, without having any Quran. Because it is preserved. And this is the only books. The Quran is the only books which has been preserved to the people's heart. You will never find any person from the whole world who can recite the whole Bible without seeing it. Yeah? Do you agree? Does it make sense to you?
Is it making sense to you?
Yeah, no, this is my first time hearing about the Quran, to be honest.
Really?
So.
Right.
More than welcome to ask any questions.
Yeah. And in this Quran, God says the Prophet Jesus was the Prophet. He was not the Son of God. As we discussed, God having son doesn't make sense. For example, having son is a thing which
But
human.
my thing is, it's not supposed to make sense, though. You know?
Yeah.
That's kind of what faith is. You know?
No.
Like, you don't
So-
need to totally believe. You just got to go off on a limb about
No,
it.
I understand, but for subscribing in any faith, because the faith, what's the faith? You are subscribing to something which even you will see it hereafter. It's not for this life. You will die, and you, if you subscribe to any faith, meaning you are subscribing for your hereafter as well.
Yeah.
So faith is very important. You can't subscribe to a faith which doesn't make sense. For example, if a faith goes against the rationality, I will not subscribe to it. If I say 5 plus 5 equal to 8, and if this brother say 5 plus 5 equal to 10, which one will subscribe? 10? 5 plus 5 equal to 10?
Yeah.
Why not 5 plus 5 equal to 8? It doesn't make sense, right? So if you just for a small math, if you subscribe to the right things, what about your faith, which you will see even the hereafter? It's related with your this world's life and the life after the death. So it's very important. You understand? So in the Quran, the relation of the other prophets in Islam, you will never find in any other religion. For example, Jewish reject the Jesus. They don't believe Jesus is the prophet, let alone the son of God or God. Christian doesn't believe in Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Only the Islam believe in Moses, Prophet Jesus, Prophet Abraham, all of the prophets. And we say if anyone doesn't believe in Prophet Jesus or doesn't love the Jesus, he can't be Muslim. You understand? So how does it make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah.
All right, fine. So does it make sense that the Jesus? Do you understand now why Prophet Muhammad is the last and the final messenger? Why he is a messenger? Do you understand now? With the miracle and the Quran, does it make sense? So
Yeah, what you're saying.
yeah. So we believe.
I'll give you the
Yeah.
most, like, mashallah, the brother here basically explaining to you the miraculous aspect of the Quran, which obviously, prophets are given miracles to, as a proof that they're sent by God, right? But I'll tell you one of the most powerful proof for Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is his character. Yeah, because even false prophets can perform miracles. Yeah, so we believe that there is like Antichrist who will come. He'll be able to fool the people.
Yeah, that's what I believe.
Yeah,
Antichrist.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So miracle is not the only criteria,
Yeah.
but the Prophet Muhammad's character testifies to this. Because what happened is this: the miracle is, you see, his character,
Yeah.
his honesty, his trustworthiness is sufficient. But why does Allah send proofs to the people? So that there is no room for excuse for the people to reject. So if you look at the character of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, it is well attested in history that he was known to be a Sadiq al-Amin. He was known to be trustworthy, honest. Even the enemies of the Prophet, even before and after the prophethood, they testify that he's a truthful person. The only reason why they rejected him, not because of him, they just rejected the message that he came with, because of the desires, ego, etc. Because it goes against their cultural custom. Like, we can't abandon the religion of our forefathers, but they knew deep down that he was a prophet of God, because he was speaking the truth. So it doesn't make sense for 40 years, because we believe that the Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him received the first revelation at the age of 40. It doesn't make sense. For 40 years, he is established as the most reputable individual in Arabia, the most trustworthy, the most honest. And then one night, he made the biggest lie in history. It doesn't make sense.
Yes.
So
Can you
for me,
take some
for me,
books
that-
from here?
that gives me-
Yeah.
For me, that is the biggest proof. You know, it solidifies the miracle of the Quran. So I cannot believe that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, could have lied. It doesn't make sense because he's already established.
Yeah. So
And we also affirm all the prophets and messengers like Jesus, Abraham, they were honest people. So it doesn't make sense that we reject them because we know their character, we know if they're reliable, and Prophet Muhammad was a reliable individual. Any problems, any dispute, they go through. Yeah? And this was before Prophet.
Sheikh, can you give me a bag, please? Anyways, guys, did you read the Quran before?
No.
Yeah, did you read it? So it's just a gift pack for you. The one Quran, and there is some other literature as well. You can take it, and for you as well. So you can take the both. It says about the Prophet Moses, Jesus, and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon all of them. And the Quran, as I said, this is the miracle from the God, and this is the last and the final guidance for the mankind. And you can see it, yeah. You can look into it. You can ask your mind. You can ask your sound reasoning whether it does make sense to you or not, yeah. Then you can check your belief as well. So it's nice to speak with you, and take care of yourself and read it whenever you get free
Nice,
time.
man.
All right, take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it was great listening to you guys. Have a good day.
Just wrap it up.
Yeah, you wrap
Yeah, yeah. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. We have a nice conversation with these two brothers. They're Christian. They came from USA, and first of all, they believe Jesus is the God, and we did have a few conversation about this, whether it does make sense that Jesus is God or not. But alhamdulillah, they changed their decision that it doesn't make sense that Jesus is the God. Then we tried to give some message about the Tawheed and Risala, and they said it does make sense to them. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for them and show them the true guidance of the Islam. We expect that they will become Muslim at a certain point, inshallah al-aziz. Jazakallah khairan for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I know Arabic. It was made to appear like that to them. It was made to appear like that to them. We have killed the Messiah of Jesus. You shall have married the messenger of God. Obviously, he did not kill him, nor did they crucify him. So it was made to appear like that. Just that.
Yeah, but in text, Arabic text is not there.